Good morning. Again, I'm Mike Walker. I'm the large loss adjuster in the Santa Rosa Beach office. Documentation on the file. First off, let's back up one step. You can come into the office and file your claims. That's fine. You're going to find it a lot more convenient for yourself if you use the 800 number. Have that claim already set up. It's just a little easier on us. It's a little quicker for you. Things move along a lot smoother if we get you in the system before you come into the office. Typically what we're looking at to do for businesses, we're trying to make sure that you are being held whole. By that we mean we're looking at net profit plus your continuing expenses. In order to calculate that, we're going to need to look at some of your financial documents. We're going to need to look at your tax returns. Generally we're looking at 2 years. We will go back further than that if it helps to prove your case. All right, so if you want to go 3 years, we'll go 3 years. P&Ls, we like to see the monthly P&Ls. That gives us it enables us to look at your business and determine what was your track record. Where was that business going? Was it going upward? If so, then we can add that trending to the calculated loss to allow for that upward trending of your business. Or was it just flat, or whatever? We'd need to look at the P&Ls. Employment records, the last quarter of your employment records, so we can see what employees you had. And it just gives us an overview of the business so we can calculate the loss from there. Biggest concern with giving us that information is that you're giving us that information. It's a lot of private information. There's a lot of stuff in there that if it gets out in the wrong hands, it's not going to be pretty. We understand that. We keep the documents in our possession. We've got a central office where we have a group of forensic accountants that are working with us. If for some reason your file, your documents have to go to that central office, it's not mailed, it's couriered. We put it in the hands of one of our employees. It's taken to that central office to be processed and used with the forensic accountant. So once you've given it to us, it remains in our possession. So we take this trust very, very seriously. We're going to protect your interest as best we can. Does that answer the question?
Can you also talk about the timelines from the point that I call the 800 number and give you my information and I take my documents to the office? Can you kind of talk about what happens after that and what the timeline?
Certainly. Timeline wise, once you call it in, we're saying that these things will appear in we'll be able to see it in our system usually within 24 hours. We'd like to say it's immediate, but there's a little time lag in there. So about 24 hours, it'll show up in our system where we can actually start working the claim and putting documents in it. When you bring your documents in, after we review them with you, one of the first things we're going to do, we're going to scan them and actually put them into the computer system, so we've got a record of them. Depending on the complexity or size of the claim, it could be worked right there in the Santa Rosa Beach office or one of the other offices that we have throughout the state. Or if it has to go to our central office, then it's couriered up there and the accountants will use it or work it up there. If it's worked in the office, we're looking at just a matter of a few days for the claim rep to go through all the numbers, do the calculations, and submit it for review and approval, and then you get a check. If it has to be couriered up, of course there's that little time lag of getting it delivered up there. There are, I think the last count I heard, something like 40 forensic accountants working on these things with a couple of hundred adjusters working up there. But we're also dealing with several thousands and thousands of claims. They're getting through these as quickly as they can. I would say probably within a week, 10 days, they've got the numbers are crunched and they're giving you a call back. If you file a claim and it's being worked in the Santa Rosa Beach office, we'll have an adjuster that you can contact and work with that adjuster. If that claim has to be moved to the central office, You'll have an adjuster in that up in the central office, but you can still utilize your adjuster here in Santa Rosa Beach as your contact person. You can go in and have a conversation with that adjuster, and they can make contact with the central office and work out any details that you may, any questions that you may have. So you use the guys down there. We've got a great bunch of men and women down there working these claims, and they're there to assist you in any way they can.
What types of claims can be handled in the Santa Rosa office?
Are you going to let anybody else ask questions? Claims from the type of claims in the Santa Rosa Beach office, we're handling just about everything under the sun. We're going from, we've got fishermen to waiters, waitresses to small manufacturing, a lot, as you well can imagine in this area, a lot of rentals, property management rentals. We've got a new group that we're forming in Hammond. We're constantly looking for ways of improving and streamlining the operation. When we first began, we were looking at each rental property on its own merit, on its own, based just standing alone. We've realized that that doesn't make a lot of sense. If we've got a property rental manager and that manager's got 70 properties, well, rather than spreading all of this out over 71 adjusters, let's bring it all together under one adjuster. The information we need we can get from the property manager, so we're combining those things. There's still separate claims. Each property owner will have their own claim. The property manager has a claim, but we're going to work them as a group because they're all tied together and it makes sense, and it speeds things up a little bit. So any claim that meets the OPA guidelines, we'll look at it and we'll handle it there in the office. Yes, ma'am.
Are you dealing with claims on devalued property values?
Devalued property has not been addressed yet. I think when the Feinberg Commission takes over, they're going to give us some directions on that, on what we're going to do. That'll be addressed at that time. The whole thing's, we're in a little bit of flux, as you can well imagine, with the Feinberg coming in.
Go in and put a claim just to get a claim number and we can find out what to do with that?
I don't think that would hurt. If you think that you've got a claim, then I'd go ahead and file, have it. That way you're in the system. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be active on that claim right now, but you're in the system, and now when you file, someone is going to be contacting you. Just let them know what's going on, and the file can sit there for a while until we have directive and know where we're going with this. Yes, ma'am.
In a situation where we actually have two company entities that I'm trying to file claims for. One has been established and has financial records, no problem. The other one we only acquired in January of this year.
Gotcha. New
So
business.
I don't have any prior year financials. I can only show the trend that was going on from January
That's
to
fine.
April. Okay. So far they've not done it. They will not do anything with that claim. That one particular one. I've not had any success.
Okay. Now, have you got two claim numbers? Okay. And is the new business, where is that located now?
It's in the same building.
No, where's the file? Is it filed in Santa Rosa?
I'm in Bay County.
You're in Bay County. Okay. Is it still in the local office, or has it been moved?
No, but I have been contacted by someone out of the regional office about my main claim. I guess I need to follow up with my other claim. It's not a substantial claim, so I've not really pursued this hard.
Right.
But so I should just go back and contact the local guy?
Yes, I would. Generally speaking, though, new businesses. Now, the business may have been there for 40 years, but you've just acquired it. New businesses are going to be handled out of the Hammond office because they're a little unique, and we need to look at those through the accountant's eyes. On new businesses, I would really encourage any documentation you can lay your hands on. Your monthly P&L since it began.
Just not a lot.
Yeah, I know, and that can make it difficult.
Yeah.
But get hold of the adjuster you were working with originally. Find out who's got that claim. Make sure that it is in the central office, and they can let you know who your contact is up there. And maybe push this thing through.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You refer to the Hammond office, so if somebody filing as a new business that has been in business for 20 years but it's been acquired, should we file this locally or should we somewhere?
all your files, all the claims will start locally. Okay, we're going to start them off locally. That way, you've got that face-to-face contact person. New businesses, I said Hammond. That's where the office is. That's where the accountants are. Generally speaking, new businesses are going to go to Hammond because there's, as we said, there's just not a lot of documentation. Now, the business has been in existence. Even though it doesn't necessarily pertain to you at this point because it's a different tax ID number, there's some history there, and we can get, we can glean a little bit of information from that if that information is available to us. So it's one of those things that, the business we have to look at the business on its own as it exists today. But comparable businesses or